What's up, YouTube? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So kindly give a like if you just joined the stream. Kindly give a like to the stream. Give a like to the stream. I think there was an echo. Yes. Give a like to the stream. Type your name and where you are listening from. Kindly type your name and where you are listening from. Type in your name and where you are listening from. So we're having Alpha. Is it Alpha Hour or Alpha Link? Alpha P. Yeah, so this is another week. Alpha from Ngwa Estate. Yeah. All right, you're welcome, Alpha. So we are more than one. It's only one person. It's only one person telling us his name. That's fine. That's fine. So let's move straight to the chat and see what's happening. All right. So when you are like the moment you understand what you are doing, when we are going for weekends, it's kind of you are not happy about it because you are missing out. Like trading is really, really interesting and enjoying if you really understand what you are doing. So if you are going for weekends, you are not happy about it if you really understand what you are doing. You wish like we are in fresh week. You wish like it's a trading week. So that's why some people mostly go to trade the cryptocurrency. Some people go to trade the volatility index, like the VIX, what do you call it? Volatility index, the VIX 25, VIX 75, the boom and crash and those things. That's why some people mostly the synthetic. That's why some people mostly move to that side to trade. But you are just kind of just draining yourself. You need to your mind. Trading is kind of it's a draining game. It mostly drains you. So if you are kind of like your mind is not having a reset, your mind is not having a rest, it mostly affects your psychology. So you need to have a break. Okay, you don't have to be trading all the day. Every day you have to be trading. Every day you are trading. I don't recommend. It's not advisable. Even though you are searching for money, but trading is a mental game, and if always you're on the chat, always in the chat, it kind of affects your mindset or your mentality. So you need to. So you're having Joe being from Kumasi. All right. Joe being from Kumasi. Caesar from Bo. You're all welcome to the stream. All right. So let's move straight to the chat and let's see what we are going to be having this week. So the week just started. So you have to just take it cool. Okay. So mostly when it is Monday, I'm kind of very patient because the market has now created some gaps and other stuffs. Okay. So Mondays are we call it formation. We mostly call it formation days. The market is kind of now resetting. The market is now it's kind of forming. So you don't have to rush to lose your money. Okay, it's all about understanding and experience. You don't have to rush to lose your money. Kindly be patient with yourself. Wait for the market to reset, especially if you are trading currencies. You need to wait for the market to reset before you start making decisions. Other than that, you are going to be losing. So we have been doing these mistakes. And it kind of, you have learned our lessons from these things that we used to be doing. And now, like, our equity curve is kind of steep. My equity curve is now like this. Those times it used to be like this, but now the equity curve is steep. Okay, so trading is kind of hurdles. Like you see, mostly I've forgotten the name of the game. Trading is kind of hurdle. So you get a hurdle, you challenge, then you jump. challenge, you jump. It will get to some time, it's going to be smooth, right? That's how it goes. So just find what works for you, then you stick to that. So let's move to the chat. So those who joined me, those if you are not part of the training, if you are not part of the boot camp, the workshop, the ongoing workshop, you are really missing out a lot. You are really missing out a lot. So those who joined yesterday, we had a class or we had a training. Okay, we were talking about how fundamental analysis mostly influence the assets that we mostly trade, like gold, the currencies, and the commodities, the stocks, and those things. You get it? And yesterday we were discussing about how fundamentals affect gold and what you are going to be expecting for the upcoming week. And yesterday, when you check the fundamentals, we notice that there was trade agreement, there was negotiation between US and China. So these things, I explain it like, if there was a negotiation between China and US, what is going to happen is what? It is a good news for the US economy. It's a good news for the world to at hand, okay? Or it's good news for the US. So what's going to happen most of the time when it happens like that? What is going to happen is what? Investors are now going to be willing to invest in the US economy, because now there's a stability. Now when maybe inflation is kind of going to be reduced, okay, inflation is going to be reduced, because when there was tariffs on these goods being imported from China, what's going to happen is what? Price of goods and services are going to increase. Inflation in a way it's good for the economy. In a way too, it's very bad. When it comes to the investor's perspective, it is good for investors, okay? But when it comes to the general economy, the people, those who don't know about investing and trading, it is bad for them. Okay, and businesses too, sometimes inflation is kind of bad for businesses, especially when inflation is high. What is going to happen is what? The central bank is going to hike interest rate, and when they hike interest rate, when businesses are going for loans and those things, interest on loans are going to what? Increases. Interest on loans are going to hike. So it is not good for businesses, but it's mostly good for what? Investors. Okay, so inflation in a way is good, inflation in a way it's also bad, so it's like 50-50. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how the negotiation is going to affect the dollar going to be strong, okay, which is going to make gold to what? Depreciate in value or to lose its value. So yesterday we noticed that technical analysis aligns with fundamentals, because when we did our analysis, we noticed that price, okay, applying market structure, we noticed that currently price is in what? A downtrend, and it has what? Created this resistance over here. We're having these clean zones over here. You notice that fundamentals is clearly, or what? It's perfectly aligned with technical analysis. Okay, so I explained how, if you are good at technical analysis, some of the major economic activities or some of the happenings that mostly happens in the world unannounced, mostly what technical analysis tells, or mostly technical analysis determine those things before what fundamental analysis will even make it clear. So if you are good at technical analysis, you'll be able to sometimes predict the unannounced news, or sometimes on the uncertain news. Okay, yesterday I was explaining those things. So you notice that technical analysis perfectly aligns with fundamental analysis. Okay, so we notice that price is going to fill this range and this gap. This week fill too. The chances that this week fill, price is going to fill this week is very high. And when the market opened, we saw this gap over here. Price filled it perfectly. So if you are not part of the training that is ongoing, because of stinginess, you're having the money, you think giving your money to someone to learn is kind of, you are just doing yourself. Okay, the kind of value I'm sharing, the kind of information that is going on, you are just losing out a lot. That's why a lot of people would love to fund their accounts other than educating themselves. And when they see any post on social media about Forex, they'll start complaining, they'll start giving like nonsense comments about it, that Forex doesn't work. Meanwhile, you didn't educate yourself. You thought it's a Ponzi scheme. You thought it's a get rich quick. Instead of you to educate yourself, you thought it's a Ponzi scheme. You thought it's a fast way of getting money. So you just you just funded your account. You just funded the account with no education, and everything blown. And you are now complaining Forex doesn't work. From the last 2 months, I've not gotten any loss before. You get it? You thought it's like just something that came in because of like just randomly. I educated myself. Okay, so if you are starting out in trading, don't fund your account. Invest in education. Educate yourself. Make sure you know what you are doing before you even think of funding your account. Trading is a skill. Trading is a profession. Someone will wake up early morning, take his bath, everything, go and sit at the office, trade, and you are thinking it's just a fun because it's easily accessible. Small boys, people with no education, people like just junior high, they are trading and they think it's something fun. Trading is a serious business because the reward in this thing can't be compared. No job can be compared to this thing. Okay, so take it seriously. Educate yourself enough. Give yourself education. Okay, at least maximum of 1 year. Educate yourself. Dedicate fully with what? Education and knowledge. Okay, arm yourself with knowledge about this game. It is very simple. It is not something complex. Okay, but the reason why it is making complex, the reason why it is being hard to you is because you are not educating yourself. Okay, so educate yourself. So the workshop is still ongoing. You can still book your seat and you join the training. Okay, we've not gone far, just 1 or 2 days that you've done so far, and just about the basic stuff. Everything is recorded. You can still have access to that. All right, yeah. So technical analysis. So let's first of all move to the fundamental analysis and see what is going to happen. So one thing you need to understand is what when it comes to trading, either forex trading or currency trading, when it comes to commodity trading, when it comes to the cryptocurrency trading, when it comes to the stock market, they are all influenced by what? An economy. Okay, they are all influenced or backed by an economy. You get it? So you need to understand the fundamental. You need to understand the major economic event that is happening in the economy or the country. Then you make decision based on that. Okay, so if you are trading GBP, you need to make sure you understand what is happening at the country at host. You need to understand what is happening in that country before you start making decisions. You don't just focus price, the past data, then you start making decisions. Understanding the fundamentals give you more confidence, give you more confluences, okay, on making decisions. So it's very, very important to understand fundamental. You don't have to be an Adam Smith. You don't have to be an economist guru before you understand some major economic news. What you have to understand is what is GDP, the impact on GDP on the economy, what is CPI or inflation, okay, the impact on the economy, the interest rate, the impact on the economy, retail sales, these basic stuff, and maybe the central bank speeches. You need to understand those things. If you understand those things, you can make an informed decision. So fundamentals is also very important, as technical analysis too is also important. So you need to take note of that. Don't focus or rely so. I know mostly when beginners start, mostly because on social media, what we mostly see is the technical analysis, drawing some lines and those things. That's all what we know. But fundamental analysis plays a role, especially if you are trading a pair like gold USD. It is very, very important you understand fundamental analysis. Okay, know what is happening in the world, then you make decision based on that. Sometimes, because fundamental usually give you the direction, but it is not going to give you the entry. Okay, so what you are going to be using it to take an entry is the technical aspect of trading. So you need to be good at both sides. You need to be good at the fundamental analysis, you need to be good at the technical analysis, so that you can make an informed decision. It's very, very important. You need to take note of that. Okay, so let's see what is happening around the globe, or let's see what is happening in the world. So currently, 11 hours ago, China versus Premier, is it the Chinese president, or what's the name of this trade discussion, were constructive and made substantive. So this something they are talking about, how they are meeting. So I think during the weekend or so, the US, the delegation of US and delegation of China, I think they met and they just talk about what is happening in the trade war and those things. And I think they came into an agreement, okay, some agreement that is positive for both sides. Okay, so if something of that sort happens, what's happening is it's good for the US economy, it's good for the country and the world too at large. Okay, because when this tariffs was happening, it's affected every country too as well. Anything happening in the US affects every country too as well. It affected most of the countries, okay, especially the developing countries, for instance. It affected us too as well. Okay, so it's a good news for the world at large. So this is a good news. So we are expecting dollar to keep on if there was no news, as there was no news that has happened based on what I'm seeing or based on the information I'm having now. There was no any breaking news so far. Okay, and the breaking news that happened during the midnight was a good news. Okay, so that's why we are seeing the dollar being strong. So gold USD, you can see the dollar being strong, and you can see the stock market too, the indices too also open with what? It's rallied up. You can see US 30 is moving up. The US stock, these are US stock, okay? So companies in the US, you see it's also moving up. You can see Nasdaq is also moving up. You get it. S&P 500 too was also moving up. Let me check the S&P 500. Was also moving up. How long is this session? Why are you going somewhere? If you are going somewhere, this is a live stream, it's a free session, okay? So you can, so XPS, this XPS 500, yeah, so you can see it's also moving up. You get it? It's also moving up. So this is how it's mostly happening. So this is a good news, okay? This is a good news. Unless maybe an interest rate has been released and there was maybe a hike on interest rate, that's when the stock market S&P 500 like this is going to fall, okay? Because it's a company, and if interest rate is high, it mostly affects most of the companies in the US. So it's negative news for the stock market as large. So it's very important. So that's why Trump is it's on the Fed to cut rate, because Trump is into to give relief for the companies, to grow. Okay, and if companies are going to grow, if you have done business before, you notice that you need money to do business. Business needs money, and if you have done business before, you need that. If someone is assisting you with money to do your business, it's a good thing. So that's why Trump is he's on the Fed chair to cut rate, so that companies can go for loans to expand their businesses. Companies can go for loans to grow. Okay, that's why Trump is on the Fed chair to cut rate. So mostly when the interest rate is high, it's not good for the company. So it's mostly going to make the stock market fall. Okay, we're going to make the stock market fall. So currently, one thing I've noticed about gold USD is when gold is falling, it's just a short-term fall. Okay, so with this one like this, if you have funds, as it has come down like this, you need to understand that no matter what, there's some negative news elsewhere going to strike the world, which is going to affect the dollar. So this is just a pullback. So this is the best time to buy gold. Okay, if you have funds, you can buy gold and hold. This is the best. This is not a financial advice though. This is just my view. Okay, because from experience, if you can notice that ever since gold started moving, you get to understand that it has been moving ever since. Okay, all the pullbacks are the equity, the curve for gold is kind of like steep. Okay, it's you can see over here. This is the monthly time frame. You can see over here, gold has been rising. You get it? So it tells you that gold, anytime it makes a pullback, anytime there's a fall, or anytime there was a decline or lost in value on gold, it's just a short term. So it's like the Ghana cedis depreciating in value. It's just a short term. So it's the same thing in gold USD. Gold USD falling is just a short term. Okay, it's going to strike again and move up. So if you are good, if you have the funds, you can just buy and hold. In just small position, you buy and hold. No matter what, it's going to rise again. Like this one, you can see it's just made a deep pullback and it's rise. Just made a deep pullback and it's rise. So gold is a safe haven. Okay, investors or most speculators mostly have trust in gold as compared to the dollar, because mostly the dollars are mostly manipulated by the central banks and the government. So you can they just print more of the dollars, and the dollars that you're having will just lose value. You get it? So it's like most of the fiat currencies are not like something sustainable. It loses its value anytime, any moment. But gold doesn't lose its value like that, because gold is backed by something. Gold is money. Gold is not fiat currency. Gold is money. Okay, you need to pass through process before you can refine gold. Unlike currencies can easily be printed by the central bank, so they can flood the system, or they can flood the economy with a lot of money. Okay, a lot of printed currencies, which is going to devalue the currency that you are having on you. Okay, you notice that if you're having a lot of money in the system, what is going to make your currency at hand loses its value is what? Prices of goods and services are going to increase because a lot of people are having money on them, which is going to chase what? Demand of products and services. Okay, and if more money are chasing it, what is going to happen is what? Those having those products, those having those services are going to what? Increase their prices, which is going to devalue the money that you're having on your pocket. So it's very important you understand the fundamentals too as well. So this is just, I see it to be just short term. Gold is going to continue to rally. You later in the day you hear that Pakistan has bombed India. And just the dollar will keep on what? Losing value. Gold will gain its value again. So that's how it works. So let's move on to the technical analysis. That's the fundamental aspect of trading. Let's move to the technical analysis and see what's happening. So if I've not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well, subscribe to the channel, give a like to the video too, and kindly put the channel on notification. Anytime that I upload a video, anytime I come live, you'll be the first person to get informed. Okay, so let's move to the technical analysis and see what's happening. So I saw some trade idea on USD CHF or so. Let me first of all, it has moved. So you guys can remember we analyzed this thing last Thursday? Last Thursday was the last time I did streaming. I've not cleaned my chart, and this was what I was expecting. So this one just moved this morning, but the market is not safe now because the market just opened and you are seeing this gap. There was no entries. Okay, so sometimes it is good you'll be seeing the direction of the market, you'll be seeing the setup, but the market is not going to give you an entry. Entry is very important. Okay, when it comes to predicting where price is going to go, it's very, very simple and easy. When it comes to predicting where price is going to go, determining the direction of the market is very simple, but the most difficult part is the entry. Okay, so price has just left us. So I was expecting a pullback. Okay, last Thursday I did this analysis, but Thursday price just pulled back, gave us a long wait before price started moving up. So I was expecting a pullback over here, then price will continue, because if you move to most of the time frames, especially the ones that we mostly focus on, you notice that the daily time frame trend is what? An uptrend. You notice that the daily time frame trend is an uptrend. If you look at the H4 time frame, it's an uptrend. The H1 time frame is an uptrend. They are all in what? Uptrend move. So why do you want to go against the trend? The banks are buying. The big institutions are buying. Okay, those who move the exchange rate are buying. Why do you, with your $10, you want to sell? You want to sell with your $10 to move the exchange rate. You can't move the exchange rate. You see, so if you are in Ghana, for instance, the government came in, decided to just depreciate the exchange rate. You see, they've brought some policies, and now the exchange rate has the currency has now currently gained its value. So you don't move the exchange rate. Those who move the exchange rate are the banks, the government, the central banks. Okay, the big institutions, like maybe if Nissan, Toyota want to buy something in China, they are going to get more of the Chinese currency. Those things are going to those things are going to move the exchange rate. You don't move the exchange rate. Move with the direction of the market. Don't try to go against. That's why you lose a lot of money most of the times. You get it? Move with the direction of the market. Move with what the banks are doing. Move with what the institutions are doing. Okay, come to the time that they mostly make transaction. That is what we do as Forex traders. You get it? Yeah, so you can't use your $10 or $15 or $5 to move the exchange rate. Even with your $1,000, can't move the exchange rate. So that's how it's mostly happening. So the daily time frame the trend was an uptrend. If you understand how to read the market structure, if you understand how to read the direction of a market, it is easily for you to determine where price is going to head. So let's first of all do top-down analysis. Price has already moved. Okay, it has already moved. I was having an eye on, keeping an eye on it, close eye on it, thinking maybe to just consolidate then during the New York session. But when it comes to Mondays, I'm mostly reserved. Okay, Mondays I'm mostly reserved. The market just opened, things are now forming. Mondays are formation days. The market is now trying to set up. Okay, it's like an office. They are trying to arrange things. They are now bringing things in place to start the week. Okay, understand that the market is moved by institutions, and the psychology of the institutions is the reflection of price too as well. So understand that and take note of that. So when it comes to the monthly time frame, let's see where price is going to head to. So I think it is approaching a rejectional level. So there was a rejectional level over here at the monthly time frame. At the monthly time frame, there was a rejectional level over here. So moving to the weekly time frame, with the weekly time frame, so there was another reactional level over here at the weekly time frame. So price is currently approaching this reactional levels. You get it? Price is currently approaching this reactional levels. So let's move to the daily time frame. But if you look at the weekly time frame, it is what? A downtrend. But that's not my concern. I don't mostly check the weekly direction. Okay. So you see, if you look at this candle, there's what? Error information of price. This is a gap. Okay. There was a gap over here. Price, this is not how price mostly forms. So if I've joined my training before, I teach how mostly price, how candles form. Okay, so if I've joined my training before, you notice that what about gold? What has gold done? If you just type what about gold, I don't understand what you are trying to mean. So just indicate what you are trying to mean. What are you trying to mean? What about gold? Gold has done what? Yeah, so if you understand that there was what? Error information of price. That's not how mostly price forms. Okay, price, this is the opening, and if you understand the part of candles, you notice that this is the opening of the candle, this is the close. So this is where it was supposed to start, but see where price started. So there was what? Error information of formation of what? Price positioning. So what has to happen is what? This error needs to be corrected. Okay, this errors needs to be corrected. So price will definitely correct these errors. Okay, but that's not the this is not the topic for the day. So H4 time frame is currently what? Trying to what? Get to a reactional level. And you understand that as the US started gaining strength, USCHF, you see how the US started, the dollar started gaining strength. You see how the price action on USD CHF is moving up. You get it? So we're expecting this gap to be filled. But if you look at price action at the daily time frame, the structure of price, you notice that price is currently what? The trend is what? An uptrend. Okay, price was in a downtrend at this point. There was a downtrend formation of price. Price just broke out from the downtrend, just pulled back over here and broke out from these consolidations. So currently, price is in what? A downtrend. So this is how the structure looks like. You get it? This is how the structure looks like. So the trend at this point is what? A downtrend. So I won't predict where price is going to end. I can use Fibonacci to predict the end of this trend. Okay, I can use Fibonacci to predict the end, okay, of this trend. So maybe price can get to the end of, let me check this one. This is the end. So you see, price can get to this level, but these tools are all just nonsense to my side. So price, I'm expecting price to come to this reactional levels, then it will bounce back. But since the trend is a downtrend, I'm not going to rush to take a buy, to take a sell. I'm not interested in sell unless structure has shifted, unless there's a change in trend before I'm going for a sell. But at this point, I'm just going to looking for a buy. So the next buy is going to be if price break out over here. If it makes a small pullback, we can go in for what? A continuation of the trend to this side. That's what I'm expecting it to happen on what? USD CHF. But at this point, there was a clean zone over here. That's what I was expecting it to happen. There was a clean zone over here. Okay, so I was expecting a continuation of the trend to this side. Maybe we can take it, but when the market opened, price moved before us, so we couldn't take it. So I'm expecting price breaking out of this one. Then we're going for a buy. The trend is daily is a down uptrend. H4 is an uptrend, so you don't have to be looking for a sell now. I'm not interested in a sell. If you are good in how to take the counter trend, that's good for you. But for me, I'm not. I don't feel safe doing that counter trend, and that means what? Going against your directional time frame. That's not what I prefer. I love what trading with the trend. That's what gives me peace. Okay, so that's why I'm having a lot of currencies trading, currency pairs over here. I'm having a lot of instruments so that I can have options to be trading them. Okay, I don't have to be forcing things. So this was the Friday trade, and price is still buying. Assuming maybe we bought over here and we are still holding. Imagine the pip that you are going to be getting. Okay, so price action, how to read the market is very, very important. It's very simple, it's very easy, but a lot of people mostly get it confused, or a lot of people mostly get it wrong on how to read price. So reading price is very important. So let's look at gold and see what's happening. So gold with let's check, let's do top down analysis and see what's happening. So price is currently approaching approaching this. You get it? Yes, I'm expecting. What I'm expecting on gold is what it is currently what approaching this week. So the chances that price can reverse over here is very high, but the trend is what we are following. The daily time frame trend is an uptrend. H4 is what a downtrend. But when it comes to gold, I mostly use the H4 trend. I don't use any time frame than the H4 trend. So I'm expecting that we can get a consolidation over here. Price can just react. We can see a reaction over here. Okay, we can see a reaction over here. But for me, I'm going to take a buy only when there has been a shift in trend at the H4 time frame. That is the only time I will be interested in. But I'm not saying it can buy. It can buy because it is currently approaching daily reactional level, at the same time approaching weekly reactional level. Okay, so with these time frames, since they are stronger time frames, it can reject price from moving up. Okay, it can reject price from moving up. By so far, there was no fundamentals backing the buy now. Okay, so if maybe we are going to be experiencing a buy, it's going to just be a short term. Okay, it's just going to be a short term. But when the major market moves, when the New York session moves, we can get a break of this can get a break of this zone, and price will continue moving down, unless maybe there was economic event, or there was major economic activities that's going to maybe strike gold to move up. Okay, maybe unless Trump says, oh, with the trade agreement, I just thought of this when I slept, I just thought I will not agree with that, I'm just going to impose the tariffs, then gold will start moving up. Other than that, since fundamentals or the news that we are hearing are all positive for the dollar, we are still expecting this one. So this one can just break. But in the meantime, it's when it gets here, we can have accumulation. Price can just be consolidating. Okay, price can consolidate for the New York session to open. When Trump says something, if it is positive for the dollar, we can still have a break. But if it is a bad news, then it can just move up. So this is just a point of consolidation. We don't know what will happen over here. Okay, so those who are planning of taking a buy over here, we have not heard any bad news that is going to affect the dollar. So if you are taking a buy, you need to understand that it is just a short-term move. Okay, it's just a short-term move. Price can continue breaking these zones. So this movement, you just have to keep close eyes on the fundamentals, and at the same time the technical analysis too. So keep close eye. As I said, there was no news so far. So maybe there was going to be news during the New York session. Okay, 13-minute joint US-China statement. US to suspend 24% duty rate for 90 days. So you see, the news are hitting the market now. Is it positive or good news for the dollar? So joint US-China statement. US to suspend 24 duty. So this is positive news. So this is all relief of the tariffs. US to suspend 24% duty rate for 90 days. This is positive news. Why do you want to continue buying? So that's why the dollar keeps on moving down. Okay, so we have to keep close eyes on the fundamentals and the techniques. So this is a good news for the dollar. Okay, this is a good news. Trump, they are trying to They are giving tax reliefs. And if they are giving tax reliefs, it's good for the economy. Okay, it's good for the economy. So the dollar keeps on pushing. So this one can break. Since there was no bad news, this one can just break. So understand, even though technical analysis is saying that we can get an accumulation over here, but we can have a break. So you can see that the stock market too is also moving up. You can see it over here. The Nasdaq, the US 30, the S&P 500, they are all moving up. You get it? Because good news are coming up. Good news are coming up. Yeah, so you have to be patient with yourself for now. Okay, you have to be patient with yourself for now. All right, so let's analyze the major ones. So we've talked about gold. So as I'm saying, we are expecting gold to if price get to this side, we can get an accumulation. But since it's positive news that is hitting the market, okay, just there's a statement released now that they have released 24% duty. So duty rate is just a tax relief, okay. 24% they've suspend, okay, 20%, 24% of their taxes. So one thing you need to understand, just a positive. Hello. Okay, so let's move to the major ones. Let's move to the major currency pairs. So with GJ, so GJ is not a major. GJ is crossing. GJ is a major currency pair. Sorry, it's just a crossing. Okay, so what we are still having some zones over here. So moving to the monthly time frame on GJ, let's see where we are going to be having some reaction. So let's see. So there was a reaction level over here. There was another reaction level over here. So looking at the weekly time frame on GJ. Okay, looking at the weekly time frame. So these are the various reactional levels. So price is currently approaching these various key levels. You get the price is currently approaching these key levels. Price is approaching these key levels. You get it. So what you're expecting, there's no entry on GJ, so I still hope it's going to keep on buying, because moving to the daily time frame, the direction of the daily time frame trend, the daily time frame trend is what price is currently an uptrend at the daily time frame. Looking at the H4 time frame, price is also price is currently an uptrend at the H4 time frame. So top-down analysis is very important, focusing on the higher time frame directional bias. Then you move to the lower time frame to find an entry is very, very important. Okay, so last Friday I saw some people taking a buy on gold, and I was just kind of steady, because looking at the direction, price action was telling me, technical analysis was telling me price is in a downtrend, especially on the H4 time frame. Price is not a downtrend, so I was kind of very reserved and slow, waiting for price to just bounce off from that level. Okay, you can notice that price bounce off from that level. I saw some people taking a buy over here, and I was kind of just okay with them, okay, because everyone sees the market differently. But I understood that price is currently approaching these reactional levels. Okay, price is currently pulling back, so the chances that since the trend hasn't shifted, price can still continue moving at the down. And my speculation on my projection came to pass perfectly. So that's how it mostly works. Okay, that's how it mostly works. So with GJ, what I'm expecting is the daily and H4 time frame is still an uptrend. So at this point, what I'm expecting is price to continue. So I'll just be looking for an entry. So since it is approaching weekly reactional level. What I'm expecting is what price. I'll be patient with myself because it is not advisable to be buying on what a resistance level and taking a sell on a support level. So I'll wait for price to patiently break out from the levels, pullback, give me a pullback. Pullback means what? A discounted price. You don't have to be buying at a very high price. You have to buy when price is very low and you sell when price is very high. That's the most important thing you need to focus on. So when price break out, if price is going to be very high, how are you going to determine if price is very high? Is you are going to determine when price has moved far from the area of interest. So this is the area of interest. Okay, this is the area of interest. So this is the area of interest. So if price has moved far from the area of interest, I'll be looking for what? I'll be waiting for a pullback on those levels. I'll be waiting for what? A pullback. If price break out from this one, you will notice that price is far from the area of interest. Okay, so what I'll be waiting for is what? Patient with myself, price to give me a discounted price or a pullback, then I'll take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'll be expecting on GJ. But at this point, when price break from get to this zone, still there's what? If you look at your left, there's just rough price action. Okay, price action over there is not smooth. So I would love price to pull back, and I'll take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'll be expecting on GJ. But the zones are kind of choked. There was no smooth zones at this point, or at this moment there was no smooth zone. We love to take trades in a smooth zone. So if you look at gold, for instance, you notice that gold in a smooth zone, and you notice that as it was in a smooth zone, looking at your left, you notice that price just moves smoothly with no what struggling. Okay, price moves smoothly with no struggle, because if you look at your left, there was clean price action. So the moment price will get here, that's why I said we are going to get some consolidation. Price is going to accumulate over here to make to decide on where to move price to up or down. So at this point, this level is a bidding level. Okay, so sellers are going to try to offer very low price, buyers are going to bid very high. Okay, so this is a bidding level. So this is where buyers and sellers are going to contemplate on who to control the market. Okay, either buyers to control the market or sellers to control the market. So the market is all about demand and supply. Okay, it's all about demand and supply. So price move from demand zone, it will get to supply zone. Demand zone, supply zone, support or resistance. That's basically how price moves. So understand, position yourself well to take advantage. If price move out from a demand zone, or if price get to a demand zone, position yourself well and take a buy. If price get to a supply zone, position yourself well and take a sell. Basically, that's how the market mostly moves. So you get it. As I indicated, there was no negative news, so price is still breaking the zone. Normal times, it is very difficult for price to break this zone, but because those fundamentals backing this one, that's why we are seeing this one. Okay, so you just have to, price has moved, there was no entry. So at this point, what you have to do is when you wake up early morning and you see price moving like this, just wait for, so you see this pullback, for instance. When price pulls back like this, that's how you can trade gold. So let me show you a secret formula to trade gold. If you wake up early morning and price has moved massively, okay, it didn't give you an opportunity. I forgot to even bring this one up earlier. You just have to wait for price to pull back. As price has pulled back like this is the point. So this one would have been like an impulse entry. Okay, so this is the point you would take a buy. So if price pulls back, it breaks this one, then you take a buy. That is when the gold has moved massively. Okay, you can use the lower time frame, because sometimes using the higher time frame, when there was this high impact news, for instance, it becomes very difficult for you to get entries on the high time frame. So you can just focus on the lower time frame. So if you understand this one, the technicals and the fundamentals, this one would have been an opportunity to take a sell over here. Okay, because you understand that price is still going to dip. So but it's mostly risky, because where to place your stop loss is going to be very difficult. Okay, where to place your stop loss is going to be very, very difficult. So we still hope it's going to continue moving, dipping. Okay, it's going to dip. Yeah, so that's GJ. So GJ, as I said, I'm waiting for price to break. Okay, price to break, pull back, then we take the continuation. So let's move to GBP USD. So that way of trading gold is, if maybe you are a scalper, you just look for short-term trades. That's how you are going to be doing things. So moving to GBP USD. Let's look at GBP USD. All right, so GBP USD is forming perfectly. Yeah, so this one too was a trade that I was having in mind. Okay, price has got into this reactional level. Price has gotten to this key level, so I was expecting price to continue because looking at the trend. So it's very important you do top-down analysis, okay, focusing on the higher time frame to make to determine or decide on your directional bias. So you get it. At this point, the trend at the daily time frame here is what? A downtrend. Okay, the trend, let's look at the weekly. So there was a reactional level at the weekly time frame over here. So there's this reactional levels. So looking at the daily time frame at this point, there was a reactional level over here at the daily time frame. So what's the daily time frame? You notice that the daily time frame trend is what? A downtrend. This is very important. The trend is what? A downtrend. So looking at the H4 time frame, so USD CHF and GBP USD they were the trade that I was having close eyes on them. So currently it has broken out from the zone. So at this point, we are not going to rush. By the end of the week, we are going to be seeing something of this. Okay, because the dollar is very strong, that's why we are seeing GBP USD is moving down like this. So we are going to be seeing something like this. Price is just going to pull back. If you don't hear any negative news in the world, which is going to affect the dollar to just continue moving down, then we are going to be seeing GBP USD moving. Okay, then you get a continuation of the trend. Okay, but for the meantime, the dollar is very strong, so we expect the dollar to keep on moving. But if you hear some negative news which is going to bring the pullback, if it pulls back, then you look forward trend continuation of the trend, the move. Okay, so are we gonna have the recording for those who just logged now? Who is this? This is YouTube. It will be there. Gold is dropping power. Yeah, gold is dropping. So gold is dropping. Yeah, because of the news. So I even forgot to even check the lower time frame. You could have even gotten a trade on the lower time frame at the H5 M5 time frame. The moment it's pulled back over here, this is the point you could have even taken a sell because of the fundamentals. Okay, because of the fundamentals. So this is the point you could have even taken a sell. Gold is dropping because of this news 30 minutes ago. Because of this news, yeah, because of this news, that's why gold is. Yeah, because of the news. So you see how important fundamentals are. So those who only focus on the lines, drawing lines, very, very important to pay attention to the fundamentals. If you focus solely on drawing lines, it is not going to help you. Understand fundamentals and you move with it. Okay, understand fundamentals and you move with it. So you will notice that even this one just started, like there was no wick at the top. It just started moving. Yeah, so gold, the dollar is strong this morning. So since the dollar, so you can see USD card is also moving up. You just wake up to see markets just moving up and down, just moving up and down. Yeah, so with USD card, so the daily time frame, even though fundamentals are just moving with the technical analysis, because you notice that price action at the daily time frame last Friday was just the the technical analysis with what do you call it? USD card is just the technical analysis is just aligned with fundamental, because last Friday we noticed that the daily time frame is an uptrend. H4 time frame too is also an uptrend. Okay, so when the markets open, fundamentals are saying something positive about the dollar. You notice that it is aligned perfectly with the technical analysis too as well. So you see how powerful understanding how to read trends are. You need to understand how to read trend. So I'm expecting this is the reactional level. Okay, this is the reactional level. So at the weekly time frame, the chances that price will pull back on this one, Price will pull back on this one. Okay, price will pull back on this weekly level. Yeah, Isaac Obin. Price is pulling back on this level. So maybe we can get a rejectional, we can get price rejecting this level. But if it happens, it break out, then it's still more chances for us. When it breaks out from this level, then we can get a trade over here. Then price will pull back. Okay, price will pull back. Then price will pull back. So the way gold is moving, as I indicated, the best way is to wait for a pullback. Maybe you can time it at the M5 time frame. If the M5 time frame pull back, you can just take a short-term trade. Okay, just a small scalp. If gold pulls back, then you take like this. What happened over here? You get it. You see what happened over here. Since the news is positive, then we expect the dollar to keep on moving down. So you just have to wait for a pullback. Then you take an impulsive entry. Okay, you take an impulsive entry. Okay, so it's left with like 3 minutes for this one to close. So let's see if this one closes. You will see how price is going to move at the H4 time frame. But mostly this is for scalping. So this is how you can scalp gold. So you see what happened over here. The same thing can happen over here. Since it is positive news, the same thing can happen. Yeah, so that's it for GBP USD. So as I said, the market is now setting. So you just be patient with yourself. Don't rush. Okay. Don't rush. Yeah, so GBP USD, I'm expecting a pullback. Then we take the continuation. USD CHF. With USD card, I'm expecting price to break out. Okay, if it breaks out, then we take the continuation of the trend to this side. Then you take the continuation of the trend. So AUD card continue moving up. So guys, let's be patient. The market is now moving strangely. Just moving strangely because of the positive news in the world. The market, the way it is moving, it tells you that it is happy. Yeah, so Bitcoin is also moving up. So I remember last time when Bitcoin was around this side, during the training, during the ongoing workshop, I told them that Bitcoin is going to buy. Okay, when Bitcoin was around this side, I told them it's going to buy. And we saw it happening. We saw Bitcoin buying. Okay, we saw Bitcoin buying. So that's the power of knowledge. You see, Bitcoin continue buying. So yeah, so there's no, so the pairs that I'm going to be paying attention to this week is USD card. Okay, the pair I'm going to pay attention to is USD card. USD card is forming well for this week. USD card is what I'm hoping I will be having a trade on. USD card. And so with GJ, okay, with GJ, if you get a pullback to this higher time frame, this weekly reactional level, if you get a pullback to this reactional level, I would love to take a buy for trend continue. Okay, but USD card is on top, and USD CHF 2 has already moved, but we still have some clean zones. So maybe I'm expecting a pullback, then we take the continuation. All the majors are giving nine setups. The GBP USD2 is also giving a nice setup for a pullback. Then we take the continuation of the trend. Yeah, price action is not looking clean at all. Yeah, so let's check out on gold with what I said. Okay, so you see the pullback. It is not that clean, but let's see. Gold will still, the moment it breaks the high of this one, the chances that it will continue down is very high. If it breaks the high based on the fundamentals, the chances of, if it flips high, the chances of continue filling this wick is very high. Okay, so those who want to scalp, this is how we scalp. Okay, so the moment it flips, okay, but if it breaks the high, that means the candle structure has been invalidated. Okay, so it has broken the high, so at this point candle structure has been invalidated. I don't love to see something of this sort. So you notice that this one price continue respecting this level. You get it, price continue respecting this level. So if it happens this one close bullish and the next one flips and breaks the high of this one, it tells you that candle structure has been invalidated to a downtrend. Then the chances that the trend will continue moving down is very high. Okay, so wow, gold can just bless you within just a short moment, or just, so this one is like 2000, is it 261 pips? This small move, 260. Charlie, gold can just bless you. Gold can make you and unmake you within a second. It can send you to the village within a second, and it can just take you to to the city within a second. So let's see if this one closes and it breaks the high, the chances that it will continue, because the news is still positive. Yeah, the news is still positive. So I'm expecting the dollar to keep on dipping. Gold USD to keep on dipping. So let's see how it will go. So give a like. If I've not given a like to the video, give a like. Ooh. This 5-minute time frame. So as I indicated, if it breaks this one, not interested, in the sense that it just, so you see, since the news is positive, it will keep on dipping. Let's see how it will go. So it will close, it will fill the whole of this gap. It will fill the gap. So it is very important, if you are trading gold, you need to make sure you are checking the fundamentals. It is very, very important. Don't trade gold as a standalone. Okay, make sure you check the fundamentals too as well. Use the fundamentals, okay, because it is highly influenced by the US economy and what is happening around the world too as well. The dollar is very sensitive to what is happening in the world. It is very, very sensitive to what's happening around the globe. Yeah, so I'm expecting a continuation to this side. It's kind of consolidating small. So this is how scalpers trade. They watch every tick of the market. If you are scalping, watch every tick of the market and you see how it moves. Every tick of the market you watch. Scalping is kind of frustrating. You watch it, watch it, watch it. So is there a reason gold should continue moving up? Is there any reason for gold to continue moving up? Is there any reason? So it has gotten to this reactional level. So this so it refused to move down. All right, so so gold is kind of just doing shakara. Yeah, so with the currency pair that I'm having an eye on this week, it's USD CAD, USD CHF. I'm waiting for a pullback, then you look for continuation. But I'm not sure today I'll be taking a trade because I don't like the way the market is forming. So today it might be a resting day for me. I'll not be taking trade today. Okay, I'll not be taking trade because the market is forming. Down there the market is forming. Now you don't have to be rushing. So GBP card, that one too, I'm expecting. Let me see the daily time frame. Yeah, the daily time frame is a downtrend on USD card. The daily time frame is a downtrend. The daily time frame H42 is now breaking above this one, which is if it breaks below, then it also tends towards a downtrend. Then you look for a pullback to go for a sell. That's what I'm expecting. But the market is now forming, okay, because there are a lot of gaps this morning, so they are now forming. I'll wait for a pullback and we go in. Yeah, so nothing good for me. Only USD card and USD CHF are the ones that I'm having close eyes on them. So they are all breaking out from the zone. The market is now forming. So let's be patient and wait. Let's be patient with ourselves. So gold just broke. Go to the level. Just go to the level. Just go to the level. Yeah, so because of the news, so you just have to sell, don't buy. All right, guys, if there was no question, is there any question? I really appreciate your presence here. Okay, so this week, the way the market is kind of giving big candles, the pullback is going to be massive. This week is really going to be great from the look of things. This week is really going to be good week, because if the market mostly gives that big zones, what mostly happens is what we are going to see a break. We are going to experience a pullback, then the trend will continue. So if you come to the market, and you see these pullbacks, we need to be happy with ourselves, because within the course of the week, we are going to be seeing a pullback. The market is going to pull back, then you get the continuation of the trend. Okay, then we get a continuation of the trend. The way gold is printing money, wow. So if you are good at fundamentals, This is when you can be getting some cool money over here. If you are good at fundamentals, this is where you are going to get cool money. So this one would have been your first entry. Yeah, so the market is going to be good this week. So let's see, on Tuesday, tomorrow, we are going to be having news at 6 a.m. Claimant count change and CPI, the inflation data. So what are you going to be expecting for the inflation to look like? The CPI, so they are expecting inflation numbers to be the same. Core CPI, month over month. So they're expecting inflation to be very high. Yeah, so we are going to be having CPI. Wednesday, no news event. Thursday, GPP news. And core retail sales too as well. Mostly CPI and core retail sales are second week of the month. So Friday, prelim. So this is the news you are going to be having. University of Michigan. Preliminary and reverse. Yeah. So this week, I think the economic calendar is good. And the way price is kind of breaking out from zones is also good. So you might get a nice trade opportunity this week. All right, guys. If no one is having a question, I think I will hop off over here. If you have any question, kindly drop. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Give a like, share the link to your friends and family members too, so that they will know the good works we are doing over here, the valuable information we are sharing over here. Yeah, so it's Monday, guys. It's Monday. Let's kind of be cool with ourselves. The market is just breaking out. So for me, I'm not sure this week. Today I'll just be looking for opportunity. I'll come stronger tomorrow. That's when the market has settled down. So I'll come back stronger tomorrow. The market is kind of now. Okay, so if this one breaks out and pull back, we can get a continuation. So maybe if I get a 9 setups too, why not? I'll just look for, but I'm not going to be aggressive like the normal weeks. It's Monday. Mondays, I have to just even take it from my calendar, my trading calendar, no trade on Mondays. But most of my profitable days are coming from Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Friday morning too. Sometimes I do get nice trade setups. Yeah, so gold is even funny. Okay, guys, see you all same time. Thursday we will meet over here. See you all same time on Thursday. So thank you. I really appreciate your presence over here. See you all same time on Thursday. Bye bye.